thing that's really always been amazing about a crybaby is it really turns a guitar into more of a vocal instrument. Some really great players, have done some really amazing things with that pedal, and it's probably my favorite effect and the one I use the most too. I'm not quite sure when I got my first crybaby, but I do remember when, I think I may have had one before I met the guys in Alice, but that's when I really started, I completely fell in love with it, which is probably like, 86, 87, and there's quite a few of our songs which are totally based off of Crybaby riff, Man in the Box being the first and most obvious one. That's such a simple guitar line, it's just a couple of notes, but you put a Crybaby on it and it gets pretty dark and nasty. It's an interesting thing. You have to kind of go through a few before you find ones that are particularly good for you. So in the past, I would go through tons of stuff. There's a particular voice that I'm looking for. I really couldn't tell you what it is. I can just tell you if it sounds right or wrong in my head. What Jimmy's done with other guitar players is try to find what is right for that individual player. Throughout the years, we've developed a new pedal, that's a signature for me, and really happy with it. It looks great, sounds great, and it's mine, man.
So here I have the JC95, Jerry Cantrell signature wah. When we were developing this, I listened to a lot of Jerry's recordings and noticed that in his wah-wah usage, he always stayed in the vocal range of the wah-wah, meaning that it really sounded like a human voice. He didn't get high in the shrilly end of it, just like a limited sweep almost, where if you imagine this from here to there, keeping there. And I realized, I called some of the techs that worked with him, and what they did was actually mechanically move the rack and gear so that even full down didn't get full throw of the wah. Wow. So what I did was I gave you the full range, or him the full range, but on the side have an adjustment so that he can actually back the toe frequency down to stay within the vocal range, although using the full sweep of the wah, which is actually better resolution and much more control. So he loved it. So you can now, as the end user, can move this to almost a normal response to in the middle. That's where I put Jerry's setting. And you can even back it down further to get even more of it in a darker wah-wah sound. Basically, you set the toe frequency, so you now are the tech. So this is a JC95 Cantrell wah.